are back.
Yes,
Take
sir.
number 4.
Dude,
We've
man.
had some technical difficulties today, chat, but we ain't gonna talk about it. We just gonna keep chucking. We probably shot this podcast like 3 times already.
Dude, man.
We got robbed,
We
but
got robbed, but it's a good day.
it's a good day. It's drop day, and honestly, ain't nothing gonna ruin that, cause we moving. But
Facts.
today's a sick ass episode. We're gonna provide you guys with the blueprint to hopefully get you guys in the right direction to start your own business or clothing brand, or just kind of hopefully provide information for you guys that will help you go in the right direction. Um, and so, if you're thinking about starting a clothing brand and you're thinking about just designing hoodies, designing pants, designing whatever garments, and you think that just because you have a good design that you're gonna go to the moon and that's all it takes, you are unfortunately already in the direction of failure. That's just point blank, like as simple as we can say it. Failure is at your doorstep. It's not that simple, and there's a lot of things that go into planning. There's a lot of things that go into the building of a brand, a business, the foundation, etc. And so today we're going to be breaking down exactly how we got to where we are right now. And we're not like blowing up crazy, but I would like to say confidently that we have gone through this already twice. This is our second time now. And we are fine tuning these things that make a difference. And we'll get into like each subtopic as the podcast goes on. But I think it's fair to say we've learned a lot from our own experiences, and anything that we talk about and try to, provide knowledge on, it's from experience, and just things that we've done research on, and we feel like we're confident enough to kind of spread knowledge on. We're never gonna try to talk to you guys about things that we don't know what we're talking about. So I can confidently say that anything that you guys kind of take away from this podcast or any of our podcasts should be hopefully a good stepping stone in the right direction for you guys. But
Yeah.
again, nothing is guaranteed to anyone. Now, we're not guaranteeing anyone success. We're just guaranteeing that if you guys try something in what we say, there's going to be some type of movement. There's going to be some type of direction base of, getting out of feeling stuck maybe. So,
You have to try.
yeah,
have
you got to try. And we're not just talking about designs, we're talking about building a real brand, right? There's a difference from building something that doesn't really have a meaning, and there's a difference of building something with a foundation, something that has real meaning, something that has a value, core values, a statement behind it, um, um, a fan base, a cult behind it, right? Someone that is going to be ride or die for what you are pushing. And you just have to be passionate behind it as well, right? So, super important. Hopefully by the end of this episode we provide enough information for you guys to be able to start to finish ish, um, get you from point A to point B to C, and then hopefully end at Z, and give you some of the basics for each step, to guide you in that direction of launching your first brand launch. There's a lot of information that we're not going to be able to fit into one episode, but we're going to go over each kind of subcategory and give as much detail as we can to guide you guys in those directions. And we'll jump into it without further ado. So, step 1 is going to be brand foundation. I've already kind of mentioned it in the beginning, very intro part, but brand foundation is going to be super, super important. You have to have a great brand foundation. This is going to be the make or break of your business. If you don't have a brand foundation, there's no way for you to scale and grow past what you think you can get to. So you might have some success on a smaller volume, but if you don't have a strong foundation and you start scaling, you're going to encounter a lot of issues and you're not going to be prepared for it. So better have a foundation that's going to really hold some stability to it and be able to hold some of the greater, kind of the brands or things that you put out and things that maybe you don't really understand, and be able to pivot later on versus not having a foundation and not being equipped to have a a potential error being made or things like that, because those are things that are gonna happen, and you just want to be prepared. So take time on that. I think that's where you want to really spend the most time on, if anything, is building your foundation. Ensure that you have, um, an identity, because if you don't have an identity, then you already have no brand to go based off, or no um, audience to market to. Next is you want to have a mission statement, you want to have an audience, and a message that you're giving with your brand across the board. So these three things are super, super important. You got to make sure that you have it set in stone, really take time to think these through. Not that you can't change it down the line, but you want to try to have it as close as possible, so that there's not like a night and day difference if you do change like a word or two in any of these things. Because then you don't want to have to completely change it and be like unrecognizable to someone that's been there since the beginning, and then they come back to your brand 4 or 5 months later and they're like, this isn't the same brand, like it looks different, right?
Who are you?
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Who are you?
they kind of change their identity now. And not that that's bad, but you want to try to kind of refrain from completely changing your brand identity 100%, because then at that point might as well scrap your brand and then start a new one, because it's going to get
Exactly.
confusing.
Yeah.
So you want to be careful. Building something that people connect to is another big key in building the foundation. Is when you're building a foundation for your business, you want to be able to create something that people are going to be able to relate to 100%. And if not 100%, at least something that they feel confident in wearing, right? That's something that they connect to in values, connect to in mission statement, connect to in the motivation that you provide, the community that you're building. Do they feel welcome? Do they feel a part of it? Those are things that are going to have a customer be a returning customer, or someone that is going to be there for the long run, or someone that is going to invest their time and energy in staying up to date with your updates. So super, super important that you build something for people to connect to. Without that, your brand is going to be nothing. And you need to really, really spend time thinking about the brand foundation and all these things that I just mentioned, so that you have a solid one to really push you in the right direction and set you up for success for the following steps that we're going to be talking about. So that, with that being said, the next step is going to be market strategy. David here is going to break that down for you guys as to what it takes to have market research for your market strategy.
So it all starts with figuring out. You can't figure out your market strategy without figuring out who you're marketing to, and you're gonna hear this a lot in well, kind of like in business in general, because you're selling a product. Your ICP, which is your ideal customer profile, and to figure out who these people are, a lot of the times it's you as a person. Like we figured this out on our own, like figuring out our ICP, is that a lot of these people we could actually relate to, because the product we're selling is the same thing that these people kind of want to buy. And to figure it out, you're going to have to go full FBI mode. And it's creepy, because I remember when we first started doing it, it was just like, I don't want to look at this person's stories. Like, why do I have to do all this stuff? But you want to get as much information about these people as possible. And you're going to do that by looking at bigger brands. So like for us, a lot of it was like looking at like Gymshark, Nike, Adidas, brands that we like kind of take pieces from, and like we realize, okay, these brands are obviously huge and successful for a fucking reason, right? So how can we use our vision and create something similar, where we're not just copy and pasting, but we're taking things from each of these little brands and creating our own vision from it. So a lot of it was literally going to these pages, looking at the people that are commenting on like their videos that are doing well, seeing what's not doing well, and just writing a lot of that down and figuring out, okay, this person looks like a potential buyer. Let me see what interests this person, because these people are obviously buying from them. So then that's when you really deep dive. And I remember we were looking at we had a shit ton of people, and we're like, oh my god, dude, like we're really actually looking at these random people's stories, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we were able to figure out these people. A lot of the like workout run people, fit wellness people. A lot of them like EDM music, hype music, hip hop. They like motivational quotes, motivational posts, Strava, like things like we noticed a lot of trends. So with that, we jotted all that down in like our trends list, and we were able to break it down into like a more specific niche.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how you start to figure out who your ICP is, right? Because then
Yep.
from there, now, okay, now I know how to market to these people. Now I can figure out, okay, well, if I'm going to do this and market it to these people, let me make sure to use like a motivational hip hop song or something like that, right? And then now that you've got all the good feedback, you're going to look at the negative comments. What is this brand not doing well? Okay, they don't like their bright colors. Good. Now we have an idea of something that's missing in the market that none of these other brands are obviously providing, which is where we come in.
Mm-hmm.
Our brand is very black and white tones, monocolors. That's our style. That's our brand identity. So, using that, we created what we like to say is our own unique color, GTA Black, which is it's a reflective ink, but as you can see on our garment, it's very incognito, where it's not super bright and flashy. Like me personally, and I'm sure Bruce is the same, we never really been into like the super highlighted greens, highlighter yellows, like colors like that, where it's very like in your face. We personally, not my style, but that's how we created this. That's how we marketed out to our people, to our audience, to our ICP. And now we're solving a problem that these brands are not solving, right? How can you be seen in the night running or in the early mornings running and be confident in what you're wearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
For this, I could literally wear this every single day as just I can go out and wear this because it looks
Facts.
really good. It looks sick. It's
Yeah.
all black. It looks tight.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I could go late at night, run, and be confident a car's not going to whack me from the back.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. We tested it. It's okay. But with all that being said, we've created a garment that is solving an issue, a problem that nobody else really that we've seen out there, even like with these big brands, no one has really done this. So now we're using that to market out to our ICP.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how you're going to market your stuff. It's when you have these two strong points, it becomes a lot easier to market, because now all of our photo shoots, it's like, okay, yes, in the daytime it looks fly as fuck, as you like to say. And
Fly.
at night, not only does it still look fly, but it solves a safety issue. You're gonna be seen from outer space.
Yeah. From Starlink.
No, I'm just playing. It's not that bright, but it's bright enough to where if you are running at night, like you,
It's like an incognito reflective.
yeah,
It
it's
is
so
honestly,
sick.
in like simple terms, incognito reflective is what I would describe it as.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, my bad.
So,
I kind of ranted off a
nah,
little bit.
that's perfect. I mean, super informational in what market research takes, and it's super important to understand that, like David was mentioning, who your market is, who your ideal customer is, and what their likings are and things like that. So you know exactly how to market to them. If you don't understand that, good luck on trying to create, content around it to then put
Mhm.
your stuff out there in the world. So
Yeah.
it's gonna make it that much harder, honestly, to try to be creative on your own with no information. It's gonna be hard to create connection from the video or image to the audience, and they're just gonna see it as a picture or a random video, and they're just gonna continue scrolling. You have to be able to create something that's gonna catch their attention because you know who's your viewer. So that's the power of that.
That is
And
facts.
you can go way deeper into it, but again, we're just kind of giving overviews on each topic so that you guys have an idea for people that don't know what sections or subcategories exist within a building process of a brand, or what goes into it, and what's the process for it. So that's what we're trying to give for you guys. It's like a blueprint for you guys to go based off and then do your own research behind it. So
Yes.
step number 3, it's gonna be brand identity. I know you already kind of talked about it and mentioned the logo stuff, which is super important. Yes, the logo is the greater than sign. It's super simple, and that's something that really helps us be a brand. So
Yes, sir.
logo simplicity is important because when we were designing Greater Than Athletics, we took into account, okay, we need a logo, we need a name, and we need an acronym that all 3 tie together in its own, but are 3 separate entities that people can identify us as a brand by. So we really looked at bigger brands like the Nikes, Adidas, Gymsharks, all these big major brands, and we noticed that they all have one thing in common. Is Nike has a logo that everyone sees and says, hey, that's Nike. They have a name brand, Nike, and they have some type of style to them that signifies Nike. So for Nike, they're like little catchphrase or something that they add on to a lot of the things. It's just do it.
Yep.
So you see just do it, you know it's Nike. If you see the Nike logo, it's Nike. If you see Adidas has the 3 stripes. You see the 3 stripes, that's Adidas. If you see the name Adidas, you obviously know it's Adidas and who that represents. You see like designer brands, same thing, LV, Louis Vuitton. You see their color and their schema of things, you know it's LV.
Super simple.
So super simple, super eye-catching, and that's exactly what we wanted to do. So for us, it's the greater than logo, which means greater than. We have GTA, which is greater than athletics, which is our acronym. And then we have obviously the brand written out, which is greater than athletics. And all 3 of those, when people see that, our goal is to say, hey, that's greater than athletics. And we want people to know, regardless of which part of the business they see, the logo, the acronym, or the actual name, that all correspond to each other.
And that's not easy to figure out,
It's
just so you
not.
guys know. So don't get discouraged because it took us a long while to
Yeah.
to really figure out not only the name but just the logo in general, and really figuring out, like, do these 3 things, can these 3 be a logo within themselves, right? And
Are they
so
standalone, essentially?
exactly, yeah. And it could get very discouraging. Like, you're gonna
Yeah.
have days that you just have no idea what you're doing, but that's, I mean, it's where the work comes in, right? You got to
Yeah.
keep trying new ideas, or keep like digging within yourself and figuring out who you are to help you create what essentially your brand is.
Yeah. I think secondly, it's going to be colors and fonts. For us, we chose more darker colors because that's the type of clothes that we like, and that's what our audience is. Obviously, our ICP are people that are going to be like you. So our style is darker colors, simple colors, really black and white, gray and black, gray and white, things like that. Darker colors, not super neon, not super bright and vibrant colors, more on the low key.
Yeah.
And also fonts. Right now we're going with like sporty fonts, but we're not limited to sporty fonts. We also can incorporate other styles based off athletic wear, which is super important that we also thought about, that the versatility behind, hey, can our brand hold up a different font? Can it hold up a different style? Can we kind of transition into the middle ground of streetwear-ish, oversized t-shirt stuff, and also like running gear? Can we also do like women gear as well? So we thought about all those things before solidifying our name brand and stuff. So all these things a lot of people don't think about when they're creating a brand. And then when you want to do women gear, or you want to do strictly men gear, or or a combination of unisex gear, you have to think about, can I put this on both? Can I put this on one or the other, right? Because not everything looks good on like one or the other, right? Sometimes it's, hey, this is maybe better for just women, maybe this is just better for men, or maybe this is something good for both.
Yep. Facts.
And that's a lot of things. A lot of the times people skip that and they oversee it. And so I think that's one thing to kind of keep in mind.
Dude, we went through thousands of fonts, dude.
Yeah, thousands of fonts of like hours and hours and hours of just scrolling and kind of playing with some, plugging some in. We don't really like that one. We like this one. And so finally we found a font. However, we're not limited to that font, and
Correct.
we know that. And then we also want to just emphasize, don't over design your brand. It's super easy to get caught up in overthinking. I have to have it perfect. I have to have it complex. I have to have it X, Y, Z, whatever the case is. At the end of the day, don't, get super caught up in that idea. It is important to have like a great foundation on that. However, if you have a name that you really like in the moment, and you understand what your core values are, you have your mission statement, you know what you want to push, you know who your audience is, pick a name that you maybe narrow it down from 10 to 3, and then pick top 2, and then pick one of the other, and then go with that. At the end of the day, you can always change the name later down the road. It's not ideal, but you can do it. And we're proven, like, we've done that, right?
Yep.
We've had a brand prior to where we had a different name. We're pushing the exact same message we're pushing now. Different logo, different name, different kind of strategy with marketing. And then we realized that we wanted to take it in a different direction and be kind of more universal, more global, more kind of a household name. And so that's when we transitioned. And I would like to say that, yes, in the beginning, we did take a small hit because we had to kind of go ghost. And there's a transition period of like, hey, we got to like refresh everything, change the name of the business, change the Instagram, all that stuff. However, because all the information we already knew worked and didn't work and things like that, it was easier for us to kind of jump back in and hit the ground running. So again, it's not ideal if you have to go that route, but if you need to, it's not the end of the world. So don't let the decision of a name hold you months and years of, I don't have a name, so I can't start.
Facts.
Dude, just start with a name that you feel represents it closely enough if you're completely like not sure, and then circle back later down the road, and then you'll get feedback, you'll get more ideas as you're designing. Maybe you see something on the road or wherever, and that helps you to come up with the next name. But don't let that be the factor of, I didn't start. Just start.
Yeah, we went months without posting during our whole rebrand process. Like, we had a couple of things. We would repost like people's stories of them tagging us, but the whole rebrand process, like you said, in the moment it was fucking scary because we're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We were getting like 90,000 visits to our Instagram, and it dropped down to like 5,000.
Dude, yeah. At one point we saw, at one point my personal page that I only have 600 followers on was getting more views than our actual brand page that had 1K followers. So, and that was a little scary. We were just like, damn, dude, our momentum completely died.
Yeah.
But we didn't let that stop us. We started being more consistent. We started pumping out hella content, and now we're back at like, I think, where are we at right now? Like
I think we're in
20, 30,
no,
or 40K?
We're past 30.
Yeah,
We're
like
in
at
the
30K
40s.
views for the month. So,
add to that, if you have your own personal page separate, make sure you're also mimicking what you're doing on your brand page, because anybody that knows you personally or that just comes across your page is gonna also look at your page and see if are you a good representation of your own brand. Because if you're not, they're gonna look at you as, it sounds fucked
a
up.
facade.
Exactly. Yes.
A fake.
A fake.
A phony. Yeah.
But and this has also helped us, like, in learning this whole process, is we have always posted on our stories of us living what we're preaching. And even now that we're doing it more, like, we're posting our own reels, like with our garment, and pushing the same message. Now I think you told me you have like 20,000 visits on your page.
Yep.
I have about the same on my page, plus the brand page. And now anyone that finds his video on his page is gonna look at his page and say, "Oh, okay," and see his Instagram link or the link tree and go to that. Now it's a potential new customer. And same
Yep.
thing with me. And then with the page, like it's just you want to maximize your viewership. You want to get out there as much as possible. Is essentially what we're trying to
Yep.
say.
Yeah, the more eyeballs you attract, the better chances you have of being successful. So
Mm-hmm.
any traction that you can get, attract it. You
Yeah.
know, no publicity is bad publicity, and I know that sounds pretty cheesy and cliche to say, but that's just the reality, right? Like, you don't know who's a potential customer and who needed to come across your brand until they come across to it.
Facts.
So, just kind of keep those things in mind. It's not just about looks, but you gotta put the work in.
Mhm.
Which brings us to the next step, which is going to be product design. Product
Ooh.
design is super, super important. I would say when you're coming up to product design, you want to be limited depending on your capital that you're starting with. If you have a lot of capital and budget is not really a problem, then you can come up with like an entire collection. You can do like a top to bottom collection. Or if you are, struggling with some budget and you have like a certain capital that you're working with, then decide maybe, okay, let me do one garment, one accessory, and then let me work my way up from there and have it snowball, right? Invest 100% of your profits into the brand and grow from there, which is something that we did.
Very important.
Or there's another option called pre-order, which is essentially you design everything, you get it all ready, you market it out without actually having the physical product in your hand. And then as people order on your website, when you release it, you then take those amount of orders and then place an exact amount order for what you have in your website received. And that's like a low risk right there. You don't lose really any money because you never invested any money up front.
Correct.
You're using the buyer's money to buy the products and you keep the profits. Obviously, the only downside with that is the wait time in between can be pretty lengthy, from like 1 to 2 months, depending, even longer.
Yeah.
So some people nowadays, or most people nowadays, they don't want to wait 1 month, 2 months, 4 weeks, or whatever the case is, 2 weeks. They want to get their order within the week, right? Within a few days. So the good part about doing bulk buy or buying everything and ordering everything before is that you have it in hand. So whenever someone orders it, you get to ship it out right away next day. And then wearability. You want to make sure that the wearability behind your garment is top notch. You want to feel confident in it. You want to feel good in it. You want to feel, like he was saying, you want to feel fly. You want to feel like when you wear it, you can wear it all the time. Because if not, then there's no hype behind it. You're not able to build the hype. You're not able to build the message and show the people that, hey, wearing this is going to build this for you, help you solve this issue for you. Some people buy brand or clothes because of a sense of belonging, right? They want to feel like a part of your brand, and if you can't do that through wearing your own garment, good luck trying to give that message to other people that have no correlation or no feelings towards your brand, right? So you need to have some type of message where they come across it and they're just like, damn, I got it on lock.
Dude, it's free marketing too.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like I don't have mine on because I forgot it at work, but I wear it every day to work, even even if it's not in the right like weather conditions. If it's too hot, I'll still throw that bitch on because I genuinely love to wear it. Like I feel fucking great wearing it. And if someone says, "Oh shit, like that shit's tight," like what brand is that? Dude, I'm hyped to say this is actually my brand.
Yep.
Go subscribe to the email list.
Exactly. And we'll just kind of leave off this section right here with design for lifestyle, not just looks. Super important, You have to get that and be happy with your garment before releasing it. Don't just settle for something that someone said, hey, release it because I think it's cool. Get feedback, get people's opinions before completely solidifying an idea, and design for you. You want to be wearing that garment and pushing that garment out to people, so you need to be happy with it. So step number 7 is going to be production. Production is super, super important. And what we mean by production is the production of your garments. This part is gonna be, in my opinion, super, super, super important. I would probably even put like top three. Well, it's hard to kind of rank everything because, in my opinion, everything's important. But
I was about to say.
but I would say like you can do everything right, from marketing to understanding what people want to building a great design. But if you release something super bad quality and you don't examine what you're putting out and you just kind of just put it out there and you don't look at it, you don't even like wear and tear test it, you don't do the work behind like, is this something that I know is quality stuff? I promise you, you're going to lose customers because people are going to receive this and they're going to expect something that they didn't receive, and they're going to be unhappy with it. You're going to get return requests. You're going to lose money that way. People are not going to want to buy it again. They're going to leave bad word of mouth kind of reviews. They're not going to recommend you. So production is super important. You need to be involved from the beginning to the end of the process of production. For example, for us, we were there from the beginning to the end. We went to go look at the ink. We went to go pick out the garment. We went to go make sure that the first print that came out was solid before we mass produced. We made sure that the sizing was perfect of the stencil. We made sure that, what else did we do?
We tested it.
Oh, we took measurements of the garment
took
too.
Measurements of the garments from the top to bottom,
Yeah.
the hoodie sizing, the no drag slips. We took it
We
through
threw
the
them
trenches,
on and everything.
Dude,
Yeah.
And even after we received the finished product, like
Yeah.
we, I mean, yeah, we did a lot. We ran in it. We went through the rain with it. I rolled over in the dirt like a pig with it. You know, we did.
We washed them.
We washed them. We
dried
dried
them.
them.
Yeah, even though our instructions like are specific to, we've set instructions with our garments as to like washing instructions, but we still went outside of that in case someone failed to follow those. Like, okay,
Exactly.
is it gonna compromise the quality to a serious extent where like, if someone didn't realize, hey, I shouldn't be drying it, and they throw it in the dryer, is it gonna completely mess it up to that they can no longer wear it? And thankfully, our garment is no. It does kind of compromise the quality a little bit, but not to the point where, hey, it's not gonna be wearable. You know.
Correct.
But that's why we do include instructions as to, hey, don't wash it or dry it in these specific conditions or whatever. For liability purposes, right? We like to just let people know off the rip, hey, this is what this garment needs to go through, and drying process and washing process to be held to the best possible standard.
Correct.
For a longer period of time. And that just goes with any garment. You know, that's a good tip that I would give you guys. Any garment that you guys buy, do the wear and test, the wash and test, the dry and test before you guys put it out, so that you guys know how to tell your audience or customers in the descriptions or whatever manner you need to, and how to take care of their garments.
Correct. Yeah, because honestly, a lot of people do not follow washing instructions. So many people will just throw it in the dryer and let it, you know, it is what it is. Nobody really cares, right?
This guy.
Yeah.
I just threw mine in there, honestly. Like,
Yeah. Dude, I mean, and we've learned this the hard way, right? Like with our old brand, we didn't start doing that till like our last couple, like 2 drops. And we unfortunately had customers like come back to us like, hey, like this happened to the ink, or this happened, whatever the case was, you know. And we obviously want to make the customer happy regardless, so we had to fully refund and offer a brand new one. So again, production is super important because it's going to help you with just the cost of goods in general. Like you want to minimize your loss as much as possible, basically.
And that's going to be done by doing the work behind it. Like, you cannot take shortcuts when it comes to this. It's important to just, if your vendor offers samples, get a sample. For us, thankfully, we have a really, really great partnership with our family over there at Mean Stitching. Shout out Josh, shout out the whole family over there. They're a family-owned business, and they're always looking out for us. And Josh really goes above and beyond to make sure that we're happy. And not just us, honestly. Any customer that he comes across or client is happy with what they're receiving. And he really goes out of his way to make sure from beginning to end that the communication is on point.
Oh yeah.
And for our process, it's been nothing but on point. You know, every single time as we learn and we grow with them, we're learning together, right? We learn to ask certain questions. We learn how to, you know, request certain things, and he knows like how to navigate through certain scenarios, and now even then, like I think with us, I mean, from when we started, he never offered samples, and we would always be like, dude, you got to do samples, you got to do samples. And not just us, obviously, but other people, I'm sure, were telling him like, hey bro, can I see a sample? And eventually he was like, all right, obviously a lot of people need samples, so he does offer samples now. And it's minimum of one item sample or whatever. But if you could get samples, get a sample, because that's going to tell you your durability, that's going to tell you your quality, everything top to bottom. Versus if a vendor doesn't offer a sample, then you're risking putting a bulk order being completely wrong. And that's one way to lose money.
Yeah.
We've been through that route. Everything that we mentioned is because of experience.
Yes.
We've lost thousands of dollars through not running samples. We thought, hey, it's going to come out perfect. We trust this person, even though we don't know this person. And we realized very quickly that people are in it just for the money sometimes, and they don't care about quality. They don't care about the well-being of your business. They're there to collect the payment and give you whatever quality they get out as fast as possible to pump out more orders. And at the end of the day, a lot of the times they're just like, well, it's your loss, not ours. And we've lost thousands of dollars that way.
Facts.
So from experience, take it from us, get a sample. And if that vendor doesn't offer a sample, find another vendor. Because there's going to be a vendor that will offer a sample, and you just cannot skip that, honestly. You just can't.
Or even just request a garment. Because before, when Josh, then the at Mean Stitching, they didn't offer like the samples. So we asked if we can just at least have one garment, so we could then do the whole wash and dry process, at least like testing like the durability. So at least we know that the garment itself is durable and can withstand these certain things that we expected to go through.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we already know for them, their situation or their specialties, their ink printing skills and their embroidery skills are good as fuck. So it's like,
definitely.
We weren't doubting that the ink was going to come out fine or the screen print was going to come out fine or the embroidery. It was more of like the garment itself, because they don't make the garments.
Correct.
So obviously they can't control those things, right? They can say, yeah, this is from this brand and it's probably a really high quality brand, but it might have a defect. We don't know. And that's why it's important for you guys to buy it and use it, wear and test, wash it, dry it, do all those things to see, is it really already pre-shrunk? Is it not going to fade like it said it wasn't? Or whatever case, so that you know how to market it and state in the details to your customers. Do not dry, hang dry, whatever the case is. So super important.
Yep.
And that's just going to make the difference between quality and cost balance. Then you know how to price your garments. You know how to, put them on your website as to like, hey, this quality is and price corresponds with each other because of these features.
Yeah.
All right, next step on top of that is going to be pricing strategy. So why cheap brands struggle, perception versus reality, and pricing as positioning. So
very important.
This is super, super important. You want to talk about these things?
Not even. I don't actually.
So I'll say this. Look, cheap brands struggle, but there's, I don't want to say a loophole, but not every cheap brand struggles. And this is what I mean by this. For example, our strategy is to provide the highest quality garments, the same garments that people out there are selling for triple or double the price as, and using the same brand or a garment that we're using for a cheaper price, still making, pennies on the dollar profit. But for us, it's about providing something that is affordable, because we think about back when we were younger and we couldn't afford these bigger brands, these name brands, because we didn't have the money to buy it, or our families didn't have the money to buy it. So our whole idea is to market it and sell it to our ICP, which is people like us that may be struggling with money or maybe are not the most bougie-ish people, and our simple people that come across our brand and say, hey, I would wear this brand not just for the message and stuff, but it's also because it's affordable and it's high quality, right? And we understand that we lose money for not pricing it at the price that we should be pricing it, because we get told all the time by vendors and things like, you guys are selling things too cheap, where's your profit, this and that. And it's like,
literally everybody tells us that. It's insane.
Even though maybe right now people say, hey, you guys are releasing this windbreaker for $60, that's pretty expensive. I literally just saw someone release this exact same windbreaker for $120. Not even joking. The same exact windbreaker for $120.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, damn, I could be selling that for $100 and I'll still be beating their prices, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But for us, it's more like, hey, as long as we can make some pennies on the dollar and make someone happy and push our message in a mass scale, then we'll be happy, right? With volume comes money, right? At the end of the day, like, it's not like we're not trying to make money. We are. We're gonna be honest. We are trying to make money, but we also understand that affordability is something that we hold true to us, and it's part of our values as well.
Correct. Yeah.
And we're doing this because we're passionate about it. It's not just strictly about money. Because if it was, then we would probably be a failing brand, because that's all we're gonna be focused on.
Not only that, but we would have been charging what everybody else charges, which is 3 times the cost of the garment.
Yeah.
Which is why I think which is where we stand out. You know, why everyone thinks we're fucking crazy for charging only $60, because they're like, where's exactly what you said, where's your profit? Dude, we just had in the community that we're in, there's people selling their hoodies for like $300.
And crazy.
And I mean, cool, people are buying it, right? But that's just not
your audience is a lot smaller for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So perception versus reality, right? As long as you can give a perception that your garment and the quality is what you say it to be, you shouldn't have no problem with, hey, the product is cheaper because it's cheaper quality. That's not always the case, right?
Correct.
You got to be able to market and create content around why your garment is high quality, why you're selling it at this price. You got to let people know, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. And if you can't explain why you're doing certain things, people are not going to know, and they're just going to assume. So explain why you do certain things so that they understand pricing, right? However, this is a strategy that we're going based off, but something that he mentioned, right? There's people that are selling hoodies for $300, right? A lot of the time, these people are explaining to their audience, and if they're not, they're saying it and doing it in a certain way as to like perception, right? They're recording these behind the scenes videos. This is how much work went into me designing this garment, which is why it's $300. It took me 6 months to release these. I did some hand distressing on this. I added my own details on top of it. I have custom packaging on this, which is all things that add up to a certain dollar value, which is why, hey, eventually a $70 hoodie costs now $150, right? Because of shipping, because of, handling, because all these other things that
little customizations.
Yeah, and on top of that, recording content isn't cheap either, right? You have to put in work. There's time behind that, right? So people like to pay themselves back in their time invested, right? In our case,
we enjoy it. We do it for fun, and we know that we're gonna get paid in the long term when we build an empire out of this. So that's we're playing the long game here. Yeah, it really brings us fulfillment too. I can't stress this enough, dude. We talk about all this all the time. Like, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, just stop doing it. Because you can notice it when someone's not passionate about it. They're not gonna go through the trenches to try to make shit work out or try to make the customer happy. So just make sure you're passionate about that shit.
100%. Next step is going to be website setup. Damn, that's my forte right here. So clean design, first impressions matter, and product photos are everything. So these 3 points right here are extremely important. Having a clean design for your website is going to make the difference in how much friction is created from the customer, or even if they're a returning customer or a new customer, landing on your website and checking out. The more friction you have from as soon as they open the page to click in the product to get into checkout, the least likely they are to purchase. And these are just statistics that are proven. So a lot of people want to create this super complex website where it's like, oh, you got to watch the whole video, you got to click this, you got to click that, and then you got to find the product, you got to, no, just, you got to keep
You're
it
giving
straight.
them way too much time to think about what they're purchasing.
Way too much time to think about what they're purchasing, and way too much time to realize, maybe I don't need this, let me exit out.
Yeah.
Or, I had to do too many things before I got to the checkout, and then it scares them away. Or you give them too much time to think about the price, or you give them too much time to sit at the checkout or whatever. Like, less friction is better. I can't stress that enough. The first thing someone should see is if you're sending out a link, you're sending out anything, is directly to that garment that you're dropping or collection. 1 or 2 buttons. Click the garment photo or collection, the size, straight to self-checkout, and boom, checked out. It should take someone, I would even say like 1 to 5 minutes, or even less, 1 to 3 minutes max, to be able to check out your garment. If you can figure that out, you're golden. Every single person that comes in is going to be more likely to convert versus just sitting there and just kind of getting distracted with a bunch of other things that are coming up and popping up in your website. So clean website design, super important. First impressions matter. So when someone opens up your website, you want to make it feel like super clean, super professional, super brandy, right? To tailor to what you are. For example, our brand is a simple logo, a message coming across, a small little video on there that just kind of playing in the background. Right under that video, it's our garment. And that's it. There's no multiple pages. There's not a home button, a catalog. There's not all these crazy buttons that you can click through, because that creates friction. In my opinion, design your website how you want. But from my experience, I used to have that of like segregation in like, I had hoodies, accessories, sweatpants, shirts, long sleeves, all these things that people had to click on, when I could have just had them on the base page, on the front page, and people can just scroll through, see all the garments, click what they wanted, and check out.
Especially if you're releasing one piece at a time. If you're dropping one item in a moment and you have other items, make the item that you're dropping the main focus. I would say, I think archive everything else and just have, like Bruce said, have that shit right front and center. So that way, because everyone that's clicking there when you're releasing, that's what they're there to buy anyway. So that's the first thing that you want to see, and you get excited. You see it there, you're like, oh fuck yeah, that's what I want. Click, click, boom.
Yeah.
Shipping.
And that also helps too, right? Like what he was saying is, if you have a bunch of other pieces on your website that are old pieces, it's not like, I wouldn't say it's bad to have it on your website, but again, it's another factor distracting someone from buying your new piece, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe you have sales going on your old pieces because they just overstock of things that you're not selling, and then your intent is to sell out on your new drop, but they click it, the first thing they see is your old drop, and they're like, oh, well, this drop is $20 and this new drop is $50. Well, I'm going to buy this shirt instead. And, you know, a sale is a sale at the end of the day. But I think if your goal is to sell out your new drop, definitely have less distractions on there. And product photos, again, obviously, product photos are super important. You want to make sure you have really high quality pictures. You have detailed pictures. You have emphasizing pictures on something that is part of your garment. So for example, ours is like reflective. Probably can't see it right now, but we did daylight pictures where we had them on the day side where it was non-reflective, so people can see how it looks on the day side when obviously it's not reflecting. And we also had nighttime pictures where we had a reference of the night photos of the lettering or the logo reflecting as well, so people understand the difference of how it's gonna look. And we also added a size chart as well. It's not always necessary, but I think it's an important factor to have sometimes, especially when you're doing unisex garments, is hey, this is what it's gonna fit like for people that are different shapes and sizes. And they're just like, okay, well, I'm usually this size and this kind of usually my waist or whatever, but it's unisex, so it runs a little bit different, and they get a reference point. So you can also do if you're not doing like plain lay flats of like not an on body with model, then I would suggest maybe upload some pictures in your campaign process when you're promoting stuff on your Instagram or YouTube or whatever platforms you're doing. Have models wearing your stuff so it's not just like a, hey, they only posted lay flats or like an AI picture or something.
Yeah.
And in the description, put like, hey, the model was 5 something or 6 foot. They weigh this much. This is what their size was that they were wearing in the picture. That gives a lot of perspective as well as to, okay, this person is about my build or my size, and this is how the large fit or the small fit or the medium fit. So that's something that you guys can also use to your benefit. If you don't want to do like on bodies on your website, you can do that on your campaign process as you're promoting. So super, super important.
Yeah, that gives them that lets them visualize what it would look like on them, and making sure that your bottoms are also matching what you're wearing. You want your whole, if you're gonna have a full body picture, you want it to all make sense and look unified, right?
Yeah.
Because then, I mean, you're not gonna wear something black, all black, and then some bright ass yellow shoes, right? Like it just doesn't make any sense. At that point, get out of here. But perfect example, dude. On body photos are great for your Instagram.
Yeah.
Let people visualize what they're gonna look like.
100%. So next step, which takes us to content and marketing. Super important platforms that we already kind of mentioned, but just to reiterate, you want to use platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. If you have a YouTube,
On everything, honestly.
any platform that you have, just promote it.
Yeah.
Again, the more platforms you have, the more audience that you're gonna have, the more chances you have for someone to follow you, convert into a follower, convert into a transaction. No publicity is bad publicity. So you have to just post everywhere. If you're not posting everywhere, you're not doing it right. You cannot just be posting on Instagram only. It's just, I mean, you can, but you're gonna,
You're just limited at that point.
yeah, you're gonna cut yourself short, and you're gonna really limit yourself as to the potential that you may have in expanding your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So some of the key points here are gonna be, the content and the designing factors of creating the design. So like if you're designing on AI Illustrator or whatever platform you're using to design your garment, you can create content around that, right? Before you even put anything to production, record yourself designing, record yourself in the thought process, get in front of the camera and do a little, hey, today's update about GTA is we came up with a few names or a few content ideas, and this is what we're gonna plan to be doing. Like
That's like
everything.
the biggest thing that people struggle with, actually. Also, that we've noticed, being within like this our the urban unity, is there's so many brand new people, brand new like brand owners that are just starting, that they always ask, how can I have content to put out when I don't have anything in hand? And it's literally what Bruce just said. Recording yourself, creating your design, your name, your color schemes, putting your ideas together, reference photos, like all of these things are content that is slowly building. It's like a snowball effect. It's slowly building it into the fucking avalanche when you finally get into the process of building the actual garment. Like we did that with this brand this time with Greater Than Athletics, where we recorded creating the hang tags. We recorded creating the ink, the struggles, the fails with that, the wins with that, finally getting it to where we wanted it.
Yeah.
The actual garment getting printed on, like, we were lucky enough to have like that relationship with Mean Stitching, where they allowed us to go in, record there while they did like the first run or the second run, the measuring, like all these little things is literally, it's content for you to post. And within that, you just give the description on as the caption of what was either the win or the loss for the day, right? And that's it. It's really that simple. And you just post that there on your Instagram, your personal Instagram, on your TikTok or on your YouTube, whatever it is. Like, luckily for us, we post it on all four. Like, we do it on the YouTube, on our YouTube vlogs, on TikTok, on Instagram, our personal Instagrams, like
Yeah, and we also mention it on the podcast as well.
on the podcast. Yeah.
So
yeah.
we mention it everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. You know, it's never a bad time to mention your brand or promote your brand if you really, really want it to work. That's just the reality.
And then people feel more connected with you in that
Yeah.
way, because then they feel like they built it with you.
Yup,
Like we have a couple
exactly.
of people that comment like saying like, dude, I love watching the progression, or people that comment on the YouTube videos saying, dude, this is fucking awesome, I love seeing it. Or even just in general, like I hear it all the time, like, dude, like seeing your guys' whole building process and letting us see like what you guys built is amazing to see. And that's how you
100%.
build like that cult like following, which is
Yep.
what you want to build when building a brand.
Yeah. And that just comes with storytelling.
Mhm.
You know, you don't have to be a good storyteller to really tell a good story. And
Yeah.
the only way you're going to be able to do that is really capturing, how he said, every single moment and piece of the process, even if you decide to use it or not.
Yeah.
Record everything, document everything. And it is going to take a lot of storage up. You maybe get a camera or upgrade your phone to more gigabytes or whatever you had to do. But just document and save clips, because next thing you know, you're going to look back and be like, damn, I should have got a video of me designing the garment, or I should have got a video of me going to put the order in. I should have got a video of me on the phone with my overseas manufacturer, or I should have got a video of me trying on the garment for the first time. Dude, these are all ideas that I'm giving you guys of how to create content without having the garment in hand.
Yeah, and don't be scared to like not to post like your losses or things that you're struggling with.
Yeah.
There's this guy from our the Urban Unity that his brand's name is Rumi, and this guy has I talked about it in like two episodes ago, where he will literally post like all of his losses and say, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now, so I'm restructuring. And he posts this stuff, and most people get like scared to post that
Yeah.
shit, right? Where they're like,
Yep.
fuck, I don't want to let people know that I'm down bad right now, or
Yep.
that I'm not doing good, or I'm not hitting the numbers, or I got 0 orders, right?
Yep.
So, and it's just this helps with like your building process. So just don't get discouraged by that shit.
100%. True facts spoken. And then lastly, I mean, this can be different based on the brand that you want to build. You can either be a face brand, meaning people like us that are behind the brand and we show our faces and we show that we're owners and we produce this brand. Or you can be a faceless brand and just do completely no identity, but, you know, have a purpose still behind it. There is things like that. There is
Yep.
brands like that. However, in my opinion, and from our coaches and people that we've come across, faceless brands are dying. And when I say dying, I'm not saying like, hey, you can never do that. I'm just saying that it's harder to do a faceless brand now because there's no real connection to a person. People support the person, not the clothes.
Bars.
And I think once you figure that out, people will start coming up to you or commenting, and how he said, really showing investment because of who you are as a person and the genuine aspect of you being you. Don't be a fake person. Don't be someone else. Don't be putting fake personas on. Just make sure that you're authentic, you're pushing that message, you're living that message. And as long as you're doing that, people will end up supporting you and your brand. And you'll find your ICP. Your ICP will
Yeah.
end up finding you, literally, like
Full
your
circle moment,
Full
guys.
circle. All right. So number 12, last step, is gonna be build community. This is how brands win. So turn customers into a movement. You want to make sure you interact with your people, your supporters. Meaning, reply to comments, share customer photos, create a lifestyle people want to join. Super, super important. And this is like the overarching theme about everything we've been mentioning is you need to make sure that you're living the lifestyle that you're promoting in real life, because if you're being a phony, you're being a fake, you're putting on this fake persona and character that you're not really about, then when people find that out, they're going to not want to promote or be a part of your movement or brand, because they're going to say, hey, this person doesn't even believe in this. Why should I?
He's a fake.
Yeah. And replying to comments goes a long way. Reposting stories, replying to comments, liking comments, showing that you're seeing your supporters goes a really, really long way.
Yeah.
I can't express this enough. Is showing appreciation for the people that are riding with you is gonna make or break your brand, or even help you grow your brand. I think, you know, we've heard this from not just our own experiences, but from other brand owners. Is when you go to a certain level, you have essentially fans, if you want to call that, for lack of better terms, and sometimes they're posting or commenting or sharing a story wearing your stuff because they're hoping that you see it. They look up to you maybe. And you as a person that owns this brand, I would say that going above and beyond to like their stuff or even send them like a personalized note in their orders, and not, you don't have to do that for everyone, but do it as much as you can so that those people feel appreciated. They know
Yeah.
that you're involved and you're a real human behind the screen, because you can tell very easily when it feels automated and like a robot. And I would say that I've never got that experience from any brand that I've bought from, and people saying, "Hey, like, I appreciate that you bought something for me." You don't get that
Yeah.
from
You
these
don't get
big
that from
corporate
nobody.
brands, you know? So when you're a smaller brand and you're growing, showing that appreciation is really going to set you apart from all these big major brands that you're competing against. And that person is going to want to return to you because they know that you're a human being behind that screen or the phone or laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so
shoot.
I would say, honestly, sharing customer photos obviously goes a long way. Doing those things is super beneficial for your brand as well. It shows people that are third person, maybe that's the first time crossing paths with your brand. Someone's posting them wearing that garment, showing them doing whatever they're doing with that piece of apparel on. And that third person, that's coming in from the outside in, sees it and they're like, oh, well, this person looks really, really happy wearing this thing. I want to be a part of this movement. I want to be a part of this community because this is what I've been searching for.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the importance of embracing your followers, embracing the people that support you, and sharing that with other people into your bigger audience as well.
Yeah.
So I would say that's like one of the more important things.
Yeah, super important, which we've been doing pretty fucking good at. Although like we try to, like personally, I try to minimize as much like time as I can from being on social media. But when it comes to like the brand page, like we do actually look at our followers like stories and stuff, and like we'll comment on their videos. Like if they're posting like a motivational video, like we'll comment like that we're rooting for them, or like good job, like keep grinding, or we reshare their story and I would say like, dude, like we've been seeing your progress. Like those little things just make you feel good as a person in general. Like even if you're the type that doesn't like the attention, you get this little like, it's a morale boost essentially, and it's not everybody gets to hear from like family or friends that they have in their circle that they're doing a good job, so hearing it from someone else outside of their circle, it goes a long way.
Yep. Yeah. And so that brings us to the very end of the blueprint in our podcast today. So again, y'all, this is like a very general basic blueprint as to steps from beginning to end, what things you should be following, essentially in order from designing or even idea of your brand all the way through to drop date.
Yeah.
There's a lot more back work that needs to go into this. It's not like if you just follow exactly what we said on here, you're going to sell out on the drop. That's not what we're saying. But again, these are things that we have tried, things that we've gone through and have tested.
Yeah.
So again, every brand is going to be different. Every brand has their own unique way that they need to do these things to tailor it to their business and their audience. But the general topics is the same, I would say, for everyone. Starting.
It's like a starter pack.
Yeah,
for
starter
people.
pack, exactly.
But it's a very strong starter pack. Like,
I would
this
say
is not
if
a basic
I had
shit.
this blueprint in the very beginning, starting my first ever brand with this guy and like our previous business partners, we would have been in a different place than we are now. But again, this is part of the game. You come across knowledge, you learn things as you grow, And, you know, we're more than happy to share these things with you guys because what this podcast is about is sharing and spreading the knowledge and experiences that we've gone through to hopefully help a prospering or like someone that is trying to become a business owner and is stuck as to where to start. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, y'all, it's been Money Emotion Monday. It was a pretty lengthy episode. Hopefully, you guys got to
Yeah.
the end. If you made it to the end, you're a real one. But again, we have drop date today. We just went live a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if you're watching this on Monday and we have any strangler pieces left behind, I would say try to secure it because honestly, we're projected to sell out today. So if you see
Yeah.
something on Monday still pending, you're lucky, and I would say secure it.
Mm-hmm. We already
Um,
got a couple orders in actually.
Yeah, we're getting orders in right now. But with that being said, it's been Money in Motion Monday, and you'll catch us on Monday at 6 a.m. like usual. Like, comment, subscribe. We need you guys to keep liking, subscribing, commenting. We're at 35 subscribers, I believe, right now. Let's try to get to 40. So if you're watching and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, like, do all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And check out Greater Than Athletics on your search engine for the best brand ever. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yes, sir. Peace, guys.